First of all, you would like to see, presumably, someone who carries on, a pope that carries on Francis's legacy?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me on your show. Yes, I obviously would love to see a continuation of what Pope Francis has been doing. He's left such an important legacy for the world, and in a time where the world really needs people like Pope Francis. So I certainly hope that it's, he will have his own personality and ways of doing things, but hopefully someone that carries on the legacy of Pope Francis.
And do you think there is a chance that that will happen?
It's hard to know, but I certainly hope so. I certainly hope so. I think the lady that was before me said it really well. Pope Francis touched so many, not just Catholics. He touched so many people around the world that are not even Catholics, just because he was such an incredible human being and believed in the dignity of every human person around the world. So I think the world would be grateful to elect someone like Pope Francis.
Now, Juan Carlos, I know that you're also a survivor of sexual abuse in the Catholic Church. Just talk to me a little about that and about what you think the next Pope needs to do to deal with that properly.
Yes, well, I think we all wish that Pope Francis would have been able to do a lot more, because the sexual abuse crisis in the church is far from gone. It's still very alive and doing quote unquote well, So it's something that the next Pope will have to certainly put an enormous look and pressure and do things related to that. Unfortunately, for the church and hopefully for survivors, this will never end. What Pope Francis opened will not be closed, because as many things as Pope Francis did, we are still at the tip of the iceberg on the survivor crisis. There are still people begging for justice all over the world, and that simply cannot be.
So, am I right in hearing you properly that it's not only the historic cases that are not being dealt with appropriately, but you believe sexual abuse is still going on in the Catholic Church and needs to be addressed? I mean,
absolutely. I mean, the historic cases are there. We know about them. There's countries that are more evolved. And the Pontifical Commission that I work on is very aware of these cases. And we are also very aware of countries that barely report these things. And some bishops around the world that you tell them, well, what are you doing about the sexual abuse crisis? What have you implemented? And they tell you still, this is not a problem in this diocese. And you've personally talked to 4 or 5 victims in that particular diocese. So there's still much to do. And amongst all the other things that this new Pope will have to do, like Pope Francis, Ukraine, Gaza, sexual abuse, women in the church, the poor, immigrants, and now that Trump is being so inhumane with immigrants, and there's an anti-immigrant sentiment around the world, this Pope needs to add to his long list of things this sexual abuse crisis that continues on.
And just to round off on the sexual abuse issue, do you let down by the Catholic Church? And do you feel let down to an extent as well by Pope Francis? Because he commissioned a report back in 2014, I think it was, which reported 10 years later, and many people are saying that that has not brought about the sort of resolution, the sort of appropriate action that is needed.
First, I feel let down by some people in the church. Some. I remain a Catholic. I still am a Catholic, and nobody is going to take that away from me. Only God. So those people that say I'm not worthy of being here, I'm not worthy to being in the commission, which they've said, I don't really care. Those are some people in the church. A lot of other people in the church are trying to do the right thing. A lot of people outside the church are incredibly amazing people that are contributing to help in this crisis. I do believe that Pope Francis did more than any other pope in history regarding this sexual abuse situation because of his age, and unfortunately, obviously, he died. He couldn't do more, but that's why I say that the next pope needs to carry on that legacy and hit harder, even with the sexual abuse situation and many others that are lingering in the church.